So this talk is about different identities that we occupy and that we step into from time to time, and how the different identities that we grow into can support the visions that we have for our life and the goals that we have for our life. So if you think about it, very often, at least culturally, we focus on goals usually at New Year's Eve, and we sort of set our goals for the year. And that's sort of a regular rhythm that a lot of people follow. Whether they continue to pursue them throughout the year is a different topic. Um, and then also, you hear people talking about having a vision or a mission for their life, which is really powerful, and it can be something that brings meaning to our life and can be very energizing and add a lot of fulfillment. Um, and another dimension that I find to be really useful to think about is, well, if I have these goals in front of me and I have, a vision for my life or a mission, um, I like to ask myself the question, what are the identities or roles or capabilities that I would like to step into or grow into that would help support me in pursuing these missions or goals or identities. Um, there's this idea of what got me here won't necessarily get me to my next developmental pursuit. So from time to time, I like to sit back and think, well, what is it that I do want to grow into? Um, do I want to be more expressive, or do I want to become more artistic, or do I want to be more rigorous in my thinking or more intellectual? So each of these can point to a different identity that you can begin to grow into in a certain respect. Um, I think about identities kind of like roles, or like stepping into a character in a play, or an idea of an archetype. That like the artist is a particular archetype that moves in culture, right? Um, so once you have the identity, you can begin to collect imagery, like what does that role or that identity mean to me, and how would I begin to step into that? Um, there was an idea that floated around in coaching kind of early in the days of coaching, which is um, this idea that you don't have to pursue things and get things in order to be something. The idea was that model was actually the reverse of what's needed. Very often what's needed is to step into the being of that particular role. And then by being that thing, all the trappings sort of follow. So the example that I heard was, I'm gonna go to school so that I can become a doctor, so I can get all these trappings so that I can finally be a doctor. And one of my early coaches said to me, no, if you want to be a doctor, step into the beingness of a doctor now first, and then all the trappings can flow from that. And so it's a different way of thinking about it. If you want to be an artist, step into that identity now, and you can. It's this idea of pretending it and collecting aspects of yourself that fit in that particular identity. In other words, don't wait, don't defer being an artist. Start as an artist, and then the output will flow from that. Um, Now, one of the ways I like to do this is when I identify a new role or capacity for myself, I might collect imagery or create sort of a mood board around it. I might, um, if I want to be a leader, I might collect images of leaders that really inspire me, or that are, in the direction of the type of leader that I'd like to be, that exemplify that. So that when I see that mood board, it's reminding me, okay, that's what I'm stepping into. And then all the capacities of that role can start to flow from me. And that eventually can support me in hitting my vision, my mission, and all the goals along the way. So again, to sort of recap, one of the ways that I think about this is I think about where I'm heading, and I think what kind of role or identity would support me in achieving all of that. And then I begin to collect imagery or create a mood board around that particular role. And then I spend time on a daily or at least a weekly basis, really stepping into it and getting used to being in that role. Like I am an artist or I am a leader, and getting used to what does it feel like to be that now, as opposed to thinking, okay, I got to go take 20 classes and then eventually I'll be that thing. This is a wonderful exercise because it really allows you to engage your imagination in a new way. I mean, when we were kids, we could imagine being a chef, we could imagine being an athlete or being an artist. And if anyone said like, hey, can you pretend that you're an artist? It's like, what do you mean pretend? I am an artist. And so that's a capacity that is awake in us, or certainly can be reawakened in us as a way of really occupying different archetypes and then seeing how that impacts all the things that we want to achieve. So I hope you have a lot of fun stepping into that, and please let me know.